news out of Dallas this morning. The Cowboys are acquiring wide receiver George Pickens from the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's the latest from our NFL insider, Jonathan Jones. The Steelers will reportedly be receiving draft compensation, including a third-rounder and some other pick swaps. Pickens is entering the final year of his rookie deal, posting 59 catches for 900 yards and 3 touchdowns this past season. So this is the production making its way over to Big D. This past season averaged about 7.4 targets per game, just over 4 receptions per game. Those 3 total TDs, and if you had him on your fantasy team, you probably wanted a little bit more production because he was giving you 7.1 in all those PPR leagues. We mentioned the man, now we bring him in, our lead NFL insider, Jonathan Jones. And JJ, we're waking up here on a Wednesday morning with this news. Is this a surprise to you at all?
Not a surprise at all that George Pickens is no longer going to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. They had made that very clear around the NFL, certainly after trading for DK Metcalf a couple of months ago. And then when we got to the NFL draft, whether it happened on draft weekend or after draft weekend, it was clear that George Pickens was on his way out of Pittsburgh. Not really that big of a surprise if it's Dallas that he winds up with, obviously. We know that Jerry Jones had said they were working on something. We know the Dallas Cowboys during the draft did not take a wide receiver in any of the 7 rounds. And, of course, they are the Cowboys who sometimes will give up a decent amount of draft compensation in order to get a guy that they really want. Remember, they traded a 5th-round pick for Joe Milton, the quarterback. They traded last year a 4th-round pick for Jonathan Mingo with the Carolina Panthers, a former 2nd-round pick. And so if there is a surprise in this, Zach, it is giving up a 3rd-round pick in compensation for George Pickens. Look, there is no question at all that he has immense talent, and that to get someone who is capable of 1,000 yards receiving like he did in 2023 before missing a couple games this past year, the first of his career, and getting just below that threshold. Look, you would always send a 3rd-round pick for that player. But that person, what we have seen in 3 years in Pittsburgh, issues always surrounding accountability and maturity. And so now what you are only guaranteed if you are the Dallas Cowboys is 1 year of George Pickens. There's not that 5th-year option that would be available if you cannot agree to terms on a long-term contract at the conclusion of his rookie deal. The only sort of mechanism you have is the franchise tag. I don't know that that's a place that the Dallas Cowboys ever want to go with this player. And so, look, again, they are getting more than a 3rd-round talent in the player George Pickens, but still a risky proposition for the Cowboys in acquiring the person and everything that comes with George Pickens.
Yeah, so with that, what do you maybe view as a success if we go a year from now and, okay, they give up a 3rd-round pick, they get George Pickens? Is it to hope that he can fall in line, I'll call it, and they then sign him to a new contract? Or what do you think the thinking in Dallas might be?
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt about that. You know, I think that Jerry Jones and everyone in Dallas says, okay, we're going to put the star on the side of your helmet, and you will understand everything that means. You're going to be opposite CeeDee Lamb. You're going to be fed the ball plenty by Dak Prescott in Brian Schottenheimer's scheme. There's no question at all that if we can go out there and be successful, that you should have no issues with both winning and getting the football. So everyone there should be happy. I just don't know that that's necessarily going to be the case. Look, this is one of the best deep ball catchers in all of the NFL in George Pickens, a guy who knows how to contort his body for any sort of 50-50 or less than ball to go up and get. And so Dak Prescott, the quarterback, absolutely loves the player that he is getting. But look, I don't think that there are any tears in Pittsburgh right now within that building that George Pickens is no longer there. It took a lot of resources, a lot of energy, a lot of patience that was drained over these past 3 seasons, sort of like dealing with him. And so, again, things can turn around. Players have turned things around before. Obviously, George Pickens has a large support group around him that certainly wants to see him succeed, get that big 2nd contract, and certainly with the talent that he has, he should be able to do that. And so Dallas, again, taking a slight risk here, let's not make any mistake about it, in pursuit of getting that other wide receiver that they have been looking for, in pursuit of getting back to that NFC championship game that has eluded them for going on 3 decades now.
Yeah, even week 13, we had Mike Tomlin say after the Bengals win, he's just got to grow up, man, talking about George Pickens. So that is who.
So yeah, this is a big move for the Dallas Cowboys. So and then looks like with Pittsburgh Steelers, they look like it was done with George Pickens. So I'm gonna start with you, Ronnie. Do you like, or you do not like this? Him going to the Dallas Cowboys.
No, but I think it was a good move for the Dallas Cowboys because George Pickens is actually a good receiver. Remember, every game he normally averaged about like 70 to 80 yards per game, about 6 receptions. So him going over there to the Dallas Cowboys will be another addition to the camp, especially when it comes to aspect of CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb was always saying that he needed help, so now he has the help when it comes to aspect of George Pickens. Now, the only problem with the Dallas Cowboys, people always saying, is Dak Prescott. Will he feed him the ball? That's the only thing. Because his eyes are always looking to CeeDee Lamb, always been CeeDee Lamb because he was the only one receiver. So now you got another fast receiver on your team. Would it be the same effect? And so, I see Dallas going far in the playoffs. But they still have to see they ride with the 49ers or the Eagles. Go right ahead, Hakeem.
If they could just get down to the fundamentals and Dak Prescott can, the help he's had, he's gonna get into this. Let's just be honest. Pickens is a phenom. Yes, he has some issues. You feel me? They need to work around, and hopefully he's going to a franchise team. And once they get to the swing of 10, get down to the plays, get to study him and the quarterback get to feel each other out. You know what I mean? And if Dak Prescott is not narrow-minded, I could see this being a Super Bowl championship. They got the linemen they just drafted. I could see something special here. You know what I mean? But
I would say the issue is going to probably be on Dak.
Yeah.
Dak is the one.
Yeah.
That's going to see if they're going to be able to go to the next level. Right. All right, John.
Yeah, this is a big year for George Pickens because this is a contract year. So, he needs to show up and make sure, he's going to play and ball out for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yep.
So, Dallas, they got a new head coach. They got a new offensive coordinator. So, we don't know what type of offense they're going to have. But I guarantee you, what the guy just said, George Pickens, he's definitely one of the best deep threats, in the game. So when it comes to him, going down the field, with a safety or just with a cornerback, he's going to be open. And also, with CeeDee Lamb, it's definitely going to have CeeDee Lamb, see some more one-on-ones and him, getting more, touches, getting more catches, and also, getting more yardage and everything. So it's like I said, it's still gonna be tough for Dallas Cowboys because they got Philly in their division, and also they got Washington Commanders in the division, which we saw Washington and Philly went to the NFC Conference Championship game. So this definitely boosts up Dallas offense big time, and we just gonna see. Can't wait till the training camp, can't wait till the NFL begins. But yeah, this is a definitely great move for Dallas, and it definitely will score more points with George Pickens as their second option.